Yeah,
Okay,
definitely. Thank you.
great. Okay, hello everyone. It's good to see you guys. Some new faces. We'll have a little moment where we introduce each other, introduce ourselves, not each other, soon. But I'm just going to start the presentation now before we all start sharing. Okay, great. So welcome to the social media Skillshare #1. And then I'll touch the screen every time I want to go to the next page. Yeah, I'm Zoe Youngmi Blank, and this is Holistic Systems Cooperative, the people you see here today. Some new faces. Next, please. Okay, so today feel free to raise your hand whenever you want to speak. It's really a skill share. You know, we're all here to help each other out. I've been doing social media for a decade now for clients, and it's always changing. So we really need each other to help navigate it. And I'm learning stuff all the time. So feel free to just raise your hand whenever you want, and I'll try to look and see you in the corner. And in classic holistic systems cooperative spirit, let's all help support each other personally and professionally. So today, as socials topics, in case you're not familiar with socials, I just say socials when I don't want to say social media. It's the lazy way to say social media. Socials topics to cover. I doubt we're going to get through all of them. We might spend all our time just getting to know each other, which is fine. But this is like the curriculum for the next few weeks. Or if we get through all of it today, that's fine too. Healthy mindset, super important. Identity and audience, basic equipment, types of content, effective content, calls to action, CTAs, hashtags, time-saving tips, and how to read metrics, or how I like to read metrics. And you could tell me if you read metrics a different way, and I would learn from you. So really quickly right now, or maybe I'll ask later. Next slide, please. Great. So healthy mindset. The first thing I would love to know is who's here today and why? Let's get to know each other. Maybe we could turn off the presentation and just answer these questions so we could see each other's faces. Maybe take a screenshot or something so you don't lose this list if you like having a list to look at.
Also, if you have so at least for mine, if you're, even while it's screen sharing, it still shows like a grid of people, and you can set it to speaker view. So if you click on the little grid and you click from gallery to speaker, then we can see the person who's talking and everybody else can still see the list. There's another way we could do it.
Should we turn it back on
We
then?
could. Another way is I put it in the list in the chat.
Oh,
Okay,
nice.
that works too. Okay, great. Maybe I'll go first and then just popcorn it to someone.
Cool.
Awesome. Great. Hi again, I'm Zoe. And I didn't think of answers to these actually. My interests. I've liked music. I do like music. There's some guitars back there. There are a lot of books too, but they're my husband's. I'm a very slow reader. But I'd love to read more books. If someone wants to do a book club at some point, I'm down. It'll be a struggle, but I'm down. My social media story. I'm a very active user. I have maybe 7 clients, I'm not sure. And some of them post every day. So I'm on the platforms, mostly Facebook and Instagram, almost every day. Let's see. Am I a social media hater? I think it's totally valid to be a social media hater. Sometimes I hate it too, but I see its power as well. Um, Current struggles. I think I'm always trying to figure out more streamlined workflows. And if anyone has tips to contribute about streamlining workflows, that's really helpful for me. I have a couple tips later that I could share, but I'm still struggling a bit. I also, when I get on the app and I'm about to do work, I just end up scrolling and getting sucked in, so that's a problem too. Um, okay, yeah, I think that's it. I'll popcorn it to Newman. Okay, maybe we'll get into it. What do you think?
Zoe, I was thinking while we wait for scenario, what if in like as a antidote to all the things that we don't like about social media, could you tell us some of the things that you love about social media and
Sure.
like why it's important to you and like what you have found it can be really great for?
Kind of part of the presentation. It's like the
Okay.
next, it's like the next slide. Next. Yeah. Um, there we go. Yeah, I feel like Scenario is pretty interested in it, so I don't want to,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, don't want to leave them out, right? So we could wait. I have time. I'm happy. Do y'all like my picture that I have chosen for this slide?
I do.
Do you feel
That
it?
actually that encompasses now is that picture of me? Did you sneak into did you sneak into my room and take that picture of me when I was on social? Because I think
Exactly.
sometimes
Uh,
that's
for real. Let's see, they're featuring Twitter, which is now X. And X now only allows you to post 25 times per month, and you have to pay more to post more often. So Elon
oh
is
great.
charging for X basically.
You know,
Um,
I was actually just thinking, I was like, oh, okay, well, what do I like about social media? And then I was thinking, oh, well, I like that there is this aspect where it's a platform that people can, that like anybody can go on and use and share and have, a platform to speak to the world. So that was just quashed as of 30 seconds ago.
yeah, I was thinking about that today as well, actually. Like, you know those audition shows where you go sing a song and the judges judge how well you can sing and anyone can become a star.
Hmm.
I was kind of comparing social media to that, where it seems like it's an equal playing field, but it's actually not. You could buy followers, you could do ads and gain exposure that way. But simultaneously, it's like still, social movements use social media all the time. And yeah, if the message is valuable enough, I feel like it will take traction,
Hmm.
unless it's censored, which happens all the time as well.
There
Yeah,
you
a lot of my
go.
favorite creators are censored. Uh, okay. Is Scenario back or not yet? Maybe Scenario's busy. Okay.
Non-airbrushed, you mean like non-AI enhanced now?
That's true too. Yeah, I meant it as a metaphor, but you could take it literally.
Mm.
Yeah, it looks like people have read this already, so maybe I'll just do this slide. So we can't forget that social media can lead to scary things like decreased attention span, dangerously low self-image with you comparing all these literally airbrushed people with yourself, shallow relationships where people are just trying to get likes, and deadly trends like, I don't know if you remember the cinnamon challenge, things like that. People got suffocated choking on cinnamon. It was, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, trends are not always good. And the self-commodification, it's like we're each a product, you know? So there's a lot of bad, and we all are aware of that. No news to anyone. But ideally, and what I try to help my clients do is find their authentic self as much as possible on socials so that you can find like-minded people in your target audience. And I really believe that social media is a tool that we get to use and use the way we choose. So I enjoy, and I think a lot of people on the platforms enjoy social media critique on social media. You could do social critique. You could reject wearing makeup. You could share your most honest and embarrassing mistakes. I've found that I've been able to be fairly authentic within a limit on my page. And it's helped me feel a bit closer to people. So I think there is a level of authenticity that is possible. Let's go to the next slide. Here's me doing I lived in Korea for 7 years. So in Korea, this is not cringe at all. Like it might be in America. Here are 3 images of me just taking selfies. Selfies really do get a lot of traction. The face pulls in attention, and it's an opportunity for you to explain what you're up to with your life or with your business. And you could see that the one where I have a ton of makeup on did get the most likes. But simultaneously, the other 2 with 0 makeup, it's not such a big difference. And, you know, I just do what I want to some degree. You could click the next now. To the extent I do what I want on my page, I post things like this. Lee looks disgusted. But I made a music video actually about how I braid my hair when I don't take my shower, and it's a really good way to hide your greasy hair, and people thought that was cool. So I'm just sharing all this really strange stuff with you to let you know that I think it's worth it to try to find your authenticity as best as possible on the platforms. And once you break that open, I feel like the channel of self-expression will flow a bit better, and you won't feel hung up like, oh my God, I'm posting a selfie. What does this mean? Like, you know, there are a lot of questions you could just go into a loop spiraling around, and you'll never post anything. It's good to want to post good content that doesn't make the world a shittier place. So yeah, I trust everyone here has a wonderful mind and heart, and whatever you post is going to be fantastic. Okay, next. What I do feel a little a difficulty for me regarding authenticity is politics, though. My politics are pretty left. Can you click it again? So, I find that using stories, did I write doing social here? Well, this is a mistake. Doing social. Interesting. What's happening?
sorry. I tried to click again. I just need to go back.
There's a lot going on. Thanks.
Sorry, there we go. Somehow I got lost.
Great. So I find that if you do have topics that maybe not all of your audience are ready for, like maybe my politics. I don't want to, you know, start fights with everyone all the time. I post that kind of more controversial stuff in my stories. They only last for a day, and they're really good for engagement. So if someone wants to personally reach out to you like, yo, I don't agree with this, it's a private conversation. And I've worked out a lot of issues with friends that way who, yeah, it's been good. It's been productive, actually. So I post my political stuff, especially on stories. And you can compile your stories into highlights. And that's what the arrow is pointing at right there. So it's like my political highlights of stories. Because I want to be authentic and apparent with who I am, but yeah, it's not always strategic, I think. By the way, this is a really bad example of a bio. My bio sucks. It doesn't tell what I do for people at all, because I'm like Trent said, I do music, I do art, I do a lot of things, but my page is kind of confused right now and I'm a little aimless. I'm just focusing on my clients right now. So don't use my bio as an example. It's not direct enough. Next. So why do social media? I think it's really important to check in with yourself periodically about why you're doing this, what your goals are. And I think that helps me when I'm going crazy and just want to throw the phone on the ground. And it's like, no, this is a tool, this is important, and I have a goal. And I've seen the goal work for clients and myself, so I'm going to keep doing socials. I hope that helps you guys on your social journey. Also, the floor is always open if you want to raise your hand, add just an anecdote or whatever bit of information, or yeah. So I'll keep talking then. So we have some statistics about the importance of social media for sales. 78% of consumers are willing to buy from a company after having a positive experience with them on social media. And 84% of US online buyers look at social media before purchasing. I know I'm one of them. Like, if a product doesn't have a pretty rockin' social community and people genuinely liking the product, I don't think I'll buy it. You know, I want to see UGC. I want to see people using that product. I want to see people who are not paid to write really awkward comments like, this changed my life, you know? You could kind of differentiate by what's a real review versus a paid review. So I kind of use social to help with products as a consumer. So I've also witnessed my clients' pages gain sales and customers in the past year that I've been taking on more small businesses. And I've also witnessed firsthand that not like 90% of my music gigs came from social media, especially Instagram, when I was living in Korea, where Instagram is really big. Yeah, I tried to like deliver an experience of what my shows would be like and what kind of person I am like to work with. So yeah, feels like they know me already before they hire me. And of course, we've all seen how fake news on social media totally shapes public opinion. You could change the way an election is voted with social media, and a lot of like bots are paid to do just that. So social media is a tool, and I hope we use it for good as best we can. Of course, there's so many, oh yeah, sad face. Of course, there's so many other tools to help a business. Rob, not Robert. I don't know why I called you Robert earlier today. That was weird. So Rob is more of an expert in these other areas than I am. Email marketing, SEO, paid advertising. Of course, real life networking is so important. And I found that the more real life networking I did with social media, it's like a business card, you know, social media is your business card. And when they work together, it's a huge growth that I've experienced. So I would say make sure you're going out there and meeting people and giving your @handle to lots of people. Yeah, great. And I say it again, periodically remind yourself why you're doing social media. You will need it some days, that reminder. Okay, next page. So identity and audience are a great place to start. Can you press next again, actually? Sorry, Rob. Awesome. I really believe that getting clear on your identity and audience is the greatest first step you can do. So I don't know if you want to do it now. It might take a while because you could really get into these questions. But these questions on the left-hand side are what I use to start the social media process with all of my clients. I'll just read them for you. What product or service do you offer? Simple stuff, right? Who are your existing and ideal audience? Or who is your existing and ideal audience? Who is? What are their pain points? Do you solve their pain points? How? That would be a good addition. How do you solve their pain points? And considering all of this, what's your value? What are your values and what's your mission? I think this is a really good reflection to write. Feel free to take screenshots too, if it's like too much to write. On the right-hand side, there are just a couple outcomes that I notice. If you really get clear of what's on the left side, the bullet points on the right are more easy to follow. So considering your answers to all of these, determine what value you offer via social media content. Because you want your content to be relevant, adding value to your target audience. And it sounds simple, but it's kind of difficult. It's tricky. It's tricky. I honestly keep revisiting these questions periodically because it's easy to get lost and just start posting things that look kind of cool. But yeah, when I narrow it down and answer the questions here, that's when I feel my content is packs more of a punch. You know what I mean? Because it's so easy to just be like, I'm tired. I have this picture. It looks kind of pretty. I'm gonna post it. It gets likes, but sometimes likes are meaningless. Sometimes doesn't lead to much. So I want to build a relationship of credibility. I want to get followers, subscribers, and shares and saves and all that good stuff. I really want to get algorithm traction so that strangers will find out who my clients are. And that's the beauty of reels. Like, I know it's annoying, and I totally agree with Justine that so many reels are just like way too intense and fast-paced. But reels are shown to strangers, where the posts you make are not going to be shown to strangers. Maybe if you use the right hashtag, your post can get seen by a stranger, but reels are the only ones that could get traction in the algorithm and show up on the feed. I've talked to a couple friends who've reached micro influencer status, which is 10K, but yeah, 10K plus. And I have a couple friends who've reached 100K plus followers as well. I've been talking to them, and all of them made their main growth via reels, near daily reels. So that's the general consensus amongst everyone. It's near daily reels to really get seen by strangers and grow. Provide a feeling that they'll keep coming back for. I was doing a lot of reels last year, and some of them hit the algorithm, which was nice. But as soon as you stop, that's it. And it's a little difficult to maintain it. But a lot of my friends, they've made so many that they have a huge body of work that's like bingeable. You know, if someone wants to go to their page and learn everything about belly dancing, they could watch the entire history of her reels and start to finish and enjoy it like a movie. But my page, I only have a few good reels that were engaging enough. So consistency is so key when it comes to reels, and that's really difficult. Okay, we could turn the page. I feel like I'm talking too much here. Any questions or additions people want to make?
There's another piece of content popped up on this slide. Maybe these are like examples.
Yeah, that's right. These are examples I just whipped up really quickly. Ideally, you could like write more. Maybe write a page and then write a tiny paragraph to see how concisely you can say it. But in answering the questions on the left, I'm a comedian who offers laughs to mostly young progressives that need help processing the current political climate or situation. This is totally, I'm not a comedian. This is me and my alter ego, maybe. I offer them a delicious political criticism. I'm trying to, you know, bake in the value that I'm offering these people, you know, creating a safe space for the LGBTQ plus community. Like, I want to get specific with who I'm helping and the audience. I think it's always good to be specific.
Can I read the next one?
Sure.
This is my alter ego. I'm a dentist who offers oral health to the southern San Francisco Bay Area, preventative in my methods to solve teeth decay before it gets too bad, and dedicated to educating clients on healthy habits.
Yeah, you killed it. I was trying to show the specific location. It's good to have a specific location. And then you might recognize the one on the bottom, Rob, actually. I'm a life coach who offers consultations and workshops on actionable ways to reach clients' personal and professional goals. My exercises break down client struggles and provide concrete steps forward. It's my mission to support women in their whole life transformation and do my small part in making the world a better place. So maybe I hope you guys have written some. And I'm sure they're really good. Does anyone want to share? It's okay if no one wants to share. It's really okay.
Maybe we could share like at the near the end of the class so we can kind of have time to mull it over a little.
Sounds good.
Actually, I'm wondering if maybe Zoe, if you might be able to take a second to make like a Mad Libs version of this in the chat, because it seems like there's like a pattern with all of them. You know,
Ah,
it's like, I'm a, profession that blank,
That's a
and then
great idea. I love
then-
that.
and then maybe we can just all like fill that in like on our own and then share it at the end or something.
I think that's fantastic. Let me get the text right now. And also, it might take a long time to do this exercise. Like, I don't even touch my personal page. I don't, yeah, it's okay. But if you really have a goal, it should be easier to answer these questions.
Mm.
I'm just a little aimless in my personal goal. Okay. I'm a blankety blank who offers blankety blank to blankety blank in blankety blank. Wait. Well, that was sent too early.
you can always resend it.
Okay. I'm a and
Offers
help
to blankety blank.
solve their like problems by blah, 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 blah. I value blankety blank and my mission is blankety blank. Okay, here's a better one. I'll delete the prior. Okay. Does not let me delete it. Fine.
What's the in? Is that like supposed to be a location?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's add a location. Or it could be on the internet too.
Hmm.
For example, there's a little music store I do socials for, and it's in the Richmond district of San Francisco. So knowing that it's in the Richmond and that there's like a vibrant Richmond sort of culture and community, I really try to appeal to that community. I try to reach out and connect with Richmond restaurants in that community. And that's like my attempt to reach out to that direct community, invite them to events at the music store, etc. And then on top of that, I want to do another attempt at reaching out at the broader San Francisco community. That's my next goal. Locations are helpful to think about.
No. Cool. Yeah, this is a really good exercise, just in general, and I think also for social.
Yeah, in general, right?
No doubt.
I'll go get my cavities filled in South San Francisco by Rob Hurwitz.
That's Robert, the dentist.
Robert the dentist.
Yeah, that's
yes.
Robert the dentist.
Absolutely. Would people like a few minutes of quiet and not me blabbing to focus on this project? Or do you want me to move on to the next slide, which is related?
Well, if you think that the next slide will help us answer these questions, then maybe we could take a break after the next slide.
Okay.
Or if it's like too different, then maybe we do this first.
Okay,
And-
that's what I put. Saya says, what
That's
I
a good
understand
question.
is it gets posted verbatim anywhere. That's right. Thank you for stating that, Saya. Yeah, you're not gonna go around posting this statement anywhere, but what you're getting into gets into the next slide. Can you go to the next slide, please? And press the next again. Too many buttons. And again, thank you. Awesome. So, however, for all of your pages. Yeah. Whether it be Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, you always have a bio. YouTube too. And here's a bio makeover done by a channel I follow. Build Your Tribe. They do social media tips and tricks. Some of them are good, some of them are a little cheesy. I don't know. But they did this bio makeover, which is the information at the top of your page, basic information. And the exercise you just did is the information that you want to bake into this short bio, which is another really difficult exercise. You're going to have to condense everything you just wrote into whatever can fit in your bio. So on the left is the original, and on the right is the makeover. Basically, they said that the profile picture was not personal enough. It could have been anyone at the gym. But showing your face and maybe even some color that fits with your brand or something like that makes you more memorable. You don't want to change your profile picture too often, because that's kind of the icon that people remember the quickest. When they hear your username or your name, they're going to think of your profile picture. So don't change it too often. Similarly, don't change your username too often, because that sucks so much when you're trying to find someone and they change their username. You totally can't find them anymore. Memorability, findability. Also, you want your username to be pretty simple and memorable. So getting into the exercise you guys are still doing, you want to bake in that how you solve their pain points, how you solve the target audience's pain points into 1 or 2 sentences at the top. So instead of the left that says, "Mommy to angel baby Susie, I am unable to quit as I am currently too legit." Emojis. Teach 5-minute makeup tips. It's like, oh, now she tells us what she does. Builder of people got cut off by the character count limit. So the makeover has her put what she does and who she helps immediately. So you could see yourself in her product. 5-minute all natural makeup tutorials for moms over 40, helping women look like they have it all together in 5 minutes or less.
What does CTA mean?
Sure. So CTA is a call to action. And this is the main prize. This is the end goal of your social media. You want a link there, or a link tree with multiple links. If you're not familiar with Linktree, it's like a page that has multiple links that you curate. But this is your end goal. Like, you want them to sign up for your Patreon, maybe, or you want them to download your ebook or attend your event, sign up for your event. This is the prize. This is the conversion for you as a social media person. Schedule your Zoom consult now. I need to do this on my personal page, and I haven't. Maybe someday. I'm not ready. But I try to do it for my clients for sure. Any questions or input?
Good example.
Yeah, it's a fun one. This guy at the bottom right, Brock Johnson, he offers some really good social media tips, like because Meta calls him and has meetings with him. So he gets the insider scoop on the algorithm sometimes. Brock Johnson, build your trust. But he's a little cheesy sometimes too. He does bio makeovers. So people will apply to get selected and he'll do makeovers like you see on the screen for people. Take out the emojis. And it's always the same thing. Just make sure what you do for whom is clear. What you do for whom. I think that's the most concise I've ever said it. What you do for whom.
What you
I had a
do for
question.
whom. Like,
I had a question. I was wondering, you're talking about the profile picture being like how it's people respond more or follow more if it's a face, if it's like a person. But I'm wondering like what you think, what your take is on having like your company logo be the profile picture, or like if like I have a music Insta or like a personal Insta, and then I have my business Insta, and I use my logo for my business Insta and I use my face for my personal Insta. I think that also helps kind of keep them separate, or I don't know. I'm just curious what
Well,
your
that
thoughts
makes
are.
total sense. Yeah, sorry if let me rephrase that. In this case, they told her to put her face there because it was her body before, and the body had no identity attached to it. But if you use a logo, I think there's identity attached to that. I don't have any statistics on whether a face versus a logo works better. Maybe there's a difference, but I'm not aware of it. I like your logos. And that makes sense to like have a face on a personal page and a logo on a professional page. And I feel bad, like what I've told you thus far is not going to make you gain a couple thousand followers anytime soon. These are just like really, you know, best practice starting places. Yeah. I think Reels is really the best way to grow. We'll get into Reels, but I don't think it'll happen this class, maybe next time. Different kinds of hooks and how not to make so many annoying edits and hold a moment in this fast-paced environment. I feel like I see a lot of pencils moving. Is that good? You guys are, should I make a joke or something? Good. Hey.
Good.
Would anyone be interested in sharing what they've written later? We have about 20 minutes left.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I know you're talking about maybe doing this as a monthly thing. I'm wondering if this would be a good place to kind of focus what people think about, like taking some time to write our things and then share, and then maybe next meeting we could do more of the PowerPoint, or if people want to get through more of the PowerPoint today. I'm curious what people think about that.
Yeah, I think that going through the PowerPoint is good. I'm mostly taking notes, even though I can screen share, but you know, just kind of elaborating on things to remind myself. So
Cool. Let me see. Yeah, maybe
I'm
I don't want to go
good
too
ways.
far in the PowerPoint that we maybe start a new topic. So let me see where this topic ends. Okay, this is the end of identity and audience. Question, do you want to have a whole month to work on this identity and audience and then share it next time?
Yeah, I think that works. That works for me.
Yeah, it's a good place to put your energy. Maybe I'll try to do it too. I haven't done it for a while.
It could also be good to have if like one person or one or two people want to like share what they have. That
Whoever's
also
open.
yeah, that also might be like a good I don't know, just exercise to sort of see like a couple other examples.
Yeah, you could still work on it for the next month and change it. It's not like when you read it here, it's set in stone.
I wish. I mean, honestly, this is something I've been working on for, I guess, forever, and maybe will be, will be.
Same. Yeah, I revisit this a lot, and I'm glad that you feel the same way, that just I keep returning to this.
Yeah, Zoe, this homework is great. And I know we're not gonna get into a whole bunch of other stuff today, but if there's other homework that makes sense to give us before next month, that'd be great too.
That's
Yeah,
a really
I
good.
second that.
Cool. Thank you. You guys are helping me figure it out on the spot. Let's see. I'm just cruising through this slideshow and looking for potential homework.
And maybe something that's kind of more related to what we've discussed so far. Or what's coming up in the next like slide or so.
Yeah, I feel like what's coming up is pretty fresh and new. So maybe it might be better to do a homework related to mental health, about maybe what values you want to portray on social media, what you don't want to have happen. I could give an example like, oh, wow, there's a lot to work with. I don't want to ever put on too much makeup or Photoshop an image to the point that I look unnaturally me. And I don't ever want to have a young person see an image of me and think that that's how we're supposed to look. So I know a lot of people who do, just Photoshop the heck out of their images, and kind of maybe you could write a reflection on what your boundary lines are for participating in certain social media trends you see. I'm sure a lot of you would just be like, I don't engage in that shit at all. What do you
think? I think that's good though. It's kind of like sounds like it's kind of like setting an intention.
Yeah,
we want our intention to be.
I think about it. I put time into thinking about it. It actually comes from me having messed up in the past too. Maybe this is time for sharing. So in the past, there was a big trend of lifestyle social media and YouTube pages, and I still watch some sometimes because they're really relaxing and pretty to watch. But basically, girls wake up. Usually it's ladies for some reason. It's like, watch me wake up at 5 a.m., do a workout, eat a totally healthy, like raw vegan breakfast, and then just bang out all of my goals like I have all the energy in the world. And because I wanted to have that sort of a lifestyle, I started to make a little bit of content with that spirit. And people got mad, like, why are you sharing this kind of stuff? Why are you sharing how happy this putting avocado on your face made you and all this stuff? So it made me rethink, like, why am I sharing this stuff? And maybe I have some internal stuff that I need to work on first before posting. Yeah, that was on my personal page as a musician, just trying to like get likes and stay relevant and stay in people's minds so that maybe I'll get hired someday. But really, like, if I'm gonna be on here to make music and try to get gigs, I should be posting music videos more often and trying to resonate with the values of people who I want to work with. Yeah.
Um, I just had a thought on that. I think that when this all first started, that's what people were doing and kind of showing the fake life that they were living. And it was more about that than it was about their story. And things have shifted now because there's much more authenticity out there. There's much more honesty out there. So telling your story is where we are. This is a real good exercise for me right now because I'm trying to figure out who I am, what I want to do when I grow up, and how I want to appear in social media, if at all. So, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, if at all. I think that too sometimes. Yeah. So the homework is reflection on who you are on socials, what your values are, and what some limits are, maybe. And as well as your bio and identity. Yeah, bio, identity, audience reflection as well. 2 homework pieces. Sound good?
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll do it too.
Does anyone already have some ideas about what they're gonna write about?
This is Saya chiming in. Sorry, it was taking too long to figure out how to raise my hand. I drafted something very rough and messy. I could just put it in the chat if people want to see it. This is very workshop-y. I love workshop. So, okay, let me just copy, paste. This is okay. It's super long. Every field that I did so far has like and, you know. And I think that's part of what I'm hearing a lot of is that we're all like working on refining our message, and we're all many of us come on, copy paste. We all have a lot of skill and a lot to offer. So go us. Okay, so it's in the chat and it will evolve. Should I
Cool.
read it out loud real quick? What time is it?
Yeah, read it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
All
get
right.
time.
All right. I'm a small business consultant who offers authentic solopreneurs and small business owners to feel. This doesn't make any sense. I offer them connection as they get their voice in writing while doing their work in New England and beyond. I help them solve their loneliness and overwhelm by showing up with warm, compassionate presence, content writing skill, and organizational experience. I value connection and action, and my mission is building bridges that are genuine and cooperative.
Oh, I love it. Thanks.
That's
I
awesome.
love it. Yeah. I see myself in it. That's how I want to be.
I've done exercises like this many times, and it was fun to come at it like with a clean slate. I didn't try and remember what I'd done before. That was nice. Thank you.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And it's also it's interesting to see, it's a good exercise because I think your exploration, it seems to me, is is more, has more breadth or depth to it, you know, than you might if it was just like, hey, I help, you know, I'm like a copywriter and I help you, you know, write things, you know. So there's you know, kind of there's more richness and complexity to that, but then I think that can also you know, take kind of more time to flush out, you know, exactly that message, and then that message that really is going to like connect and be clear.
Yeah, going
Cool.
off what you're saying, I think that's really good to, at least in this first phase, have that depth and show the richness of who you are and what your values are. Because when you compact that later, it would be great to somehow retain a bit of your values. And I've been seeing a really beautiful way that's done by certain therapists who want to make sure, like, hey, I'm not your average therapist. I consider systemic problems and I don't blame everything on the individual. I consider capitalism, I consider imperialism and colonialism and all these things, and they bake it into their bio really well. Maybe I'll find a couple of those to share next time. Yeah, but baking in your values into the work you do in your little bio, that's a great goal to have. I love that. And this is the place to start. I think yours is perfect place to start. If that made any sense. Okay. Does anyone else want to share or now?
I don't have my, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Justine, please.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I don't have my mission statement or bio yet, but I did actually kind of think of an intention when you were asking, like, what are your boundaries and like, what do you not want to support, or like, what parts of social media do you actually not want to like feed into? And that really got me thinking, and it made me kind of realize of like, I think an intention I would love to have with making future posts is actually, and this might just be a complete like flop because it's so completely the opposite of everything that social media is, but I feel like I want to encourage people to slow down and to like tap in to themselves and sort of like live and act more consciously and have more awareness around the time that we spend on social media, around our own attention spans shrinking. And this sort of like, I've noticed like there's a lag effect of like, if you're watching really fast content and then you stop, your life feels boring because of the contrast of how fast everything is. And then how it's like if you watch like an action movie in a movie theater and then you come out and then like everything's like feels really slow and boring, but actually it's just, it's only the contrast. And I think that's part of the hook of social media is like people get bored when they go off of it because it's a different pace. And so then they go back on it and then they just spend hours and hours, and then they've missed the sunset. They like haven't prepared a nice meal. They like missed their day. You know what I mean? And I think
Been there too many times. Yeah.
so I think that that's something that is the part that makes me sad and like why I'm so resistant to making social media content is because I feel like I'm feeding that system and I don't believe in that system. So if I can make content that helps inspire people to like stop, I think that might be a better way to go. I don't
That's
know.
a fantastic purpose. And I think it's totally possible because that's the kind of content I follow. And I know it does really well because it's so refreshing and people see it and they, at least me, I see it and I feel like, thank God I saw this in the feed right now. Who knows how long I could have spent on here if it weren't for like a picture of Mozart looking angrily at the camera, like, have you practiced today? You know, stuff like that. I love it. Or breathing meditations. I follow some stuff that's like, hey, let's stop. This is your last video. Let's breathe together. I think it's a public good, like it's a public service if you create content like that. You're helping people directly.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's something that brings like just to share that brings up, that I've been you know that's at least to me I feel like I've come seen as more and more as I've gone along, as far as like social media and how to be sustainable around it, is that there's a way I think about it, which is like that we all have like something we want to say to the world, and I think that if you can connect with that, that real thing, like there's something that like I believe all of us, just it's like this is what I really want to tell the world. This is what I have to tell the world, right? There's something that we all feel. And I think, for me, that's like, with social, I think that if you can find that, right. And then, sort of mesh that in with like, oh, well, this is my offering. But like if your offering is genuine and it's connected with that, what you are compelled to say to the world, then I think that then your social, by developing that, it becomes, pretty sustainable rather than, oh, this is something I have to do, and and like what should I have to write this and that way, it's if you get to that core, then you just crank the stuff out, and I think what I heard from Justine, right, is like it feels like there's that energy in there. So it doesn't matter, if it's like if yeah, because it's like if you're connecting with that, right, and that's what you're like compelled to tell the world, Justine, then you do that, then I think that's what's going to connect with people.
I love that. That's powerful. Absolutely.
I wrote that down as another homework assignment. What do you want to say to the world? Kind of like finding not only your mission statement, but like your just broad message. What is your message?
So great.
Yeah.
So great. I'm having fun, you guys. And we have almost no time left. Wow. Would you guys be interested in meeting next month?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yay, I'm glad.
I like kind of the pace of, doing a few slides on like really focusing on like one topic. I feel like this was like, I think had we gone through the whole presentation, I would just like feel overwhelmed and like not know what to do. And that's kind of how I already felt about social media coming into this. So I really love how flexible you were and like how much space you gave it. And I have like 6 homework assignments now, and I'm like really stoked to do them all and to be able to share them next month and then go attack the next section. And
That's great.
we could even add like bonus points for if you actually implement the homework things, like if you actually change your Instagram bio or put your statement on your website or put it on your Facebook group or whatever, and like have it be like these homework things are not just things we're thinking about. It's like they're actually helping our business like one little step at a time.
Yeah. Points.
Yeah.
You have gold stars.
That's awesome.
Little emojis. I'll give emoji.
And maybe at a certain point, tokens. Let's
Yeah,
6 tokens that you can actually,
Exactly.
utilize for value sharing.
Oh, that's a
all
cool
other things.
idea. Like tokens that add up to like a free one-on-one consult with you about social media.
Well, we haven't actually described Holistic Systems Cooperative in depth enough, but Rob has been doing a lot of infrastructure building, and Basil and Kim too, with Haifa. It's they have their own coins basically. It's not the shady crypto bro tech asshole scene. It's very different. What does that mean? Let's get into it. Next one, please. Thanks. So HSC, click. I added a lot of clicks, sorry.
Oh, got it.
Okay, so the nature of freelance work is very isolating, as many of us know. And capitalism pits everyone against each other in desperate competition to survive. So, Holistic Systems Cooperative strives to foster collaboration over competition as much as is possible. And the founder, Robert Hurwitz, who is here pressing buttons today, he built this community in the spirit of decentralized, horizontal, egalitarian structures. And a lot of the people in this group here are knowledgeable in different types of organization structures. We're looking forward to some like Newman's Skillshare in a couple weeks, maybe. We'll learn more about organization structures. So yeah, every HSC member takes equal ownership and responsibility over what HSC is and becomes. Next, please. Next again, please. Thank you. Okay. So what HSC is currently is something like a value bank, mutual exchange, a nascent labor union or cooperative of freelancers, along those lines. Basically, right now, we all communicate our needs to each other so that we know how to help each other. We also communicate our offerings, things that we're ready to help with. And those include social media, maybe yoga, physical exercises. They could include anything from diet to website development, translation, interpretation, really anything. And we're hoping that the more people in the community, the more we're able to help each other, the more our value bank and resource pool grows. In this way, we collectively help each other meet our needs in the here and now, while also creating new models for how we work together. Next. Oh yes, the rising tide lifts all boats. You get it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good luck with your homework. Oh, does everyone have the homework? Should I write it in the chat or are we good? All good.
I got it.
It's in the meeting notes now too, for anyone who has access to that.
That's great. Yeah, thanks everyone. It's a pleasure to meet you, Scenario and Justine and Lee.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks everyone.